The following presentation is brought to you by Discovery Channel School, a leading provider of quality educational resources that help teachers bring the world to their students.
I'm Jeff Corwin, and this amazing serpent is a common Indian cobra. If you like creatures like this, you're in for a great adventure. Bring it down. That was nice.
Join me as I explore India.
They're animals, especially serpents. A toad.
To get almost anywhere in India, you have to take the train. Our trip to the ultimate snake encounter, the Nag Panchami Cobra Festival, means many days and nights on a train as we travel across this vast subcontinent.
We have just arrived to the village of Anjana. It's an Aruli community living deep in the interior of India. And what's great about this place is that these people, the Aruli people, are masters at working with snakes. And there's one gentleman, goes by the name Mutan, this is where he lives, that I'm hoping is going to help steer us in the direction of finding some amazing serpents. Mutan, I know you're here. They told me you'd be here. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. About 30 years ago, the Arulas would go out, capture snakes, kill the snakes, and use the skin of the snakes, or they would sell the snakes to the hide or pelt or leather industry. In the 1970s, when the Indian government made it illegal to capture and kill snakes, the Arula community fell apart. So, this is the new plan. The Arula go out, they capture the snakes, they bring the snakes back to an Arula snake cooperative where the snakes are milked of their venom. That venom is then turned into the antidote to help those people who are bit, and then those snakes are released back into the environment. So that's great for me because I get to go out with people that are literally masters at understanding the world of snakes. For an amphibiophobia, for someone who has an unnatural fear of snakes, this could be the ultimate nightmare. What he's doing is he's taking a stick and he's probing the cavities, looking to feel any movement. We might have just struck the lottery here. It's a very promising sight. What's that right there?
Yeah.
Okay, there's his head right there, sticking up. There's his head.
Very hungry.
Yeah. He's very, very venomous snake.
Very hungry.
Yeah.
Very hungry. No bite.
Look at this. And there we do. There's a spectacle cobra.
No bite.
Excellent job. You really found him. Now, you have to keep in mind that these animals are extremely, extremely venomous. Gorgeous snake. And you can see, I have to hold him. And oh, I know. Yeah, I know. So you did a great job. This was just perfect. Thank you very much.
So now this cobra's off to join some of his other buddies at the Arula Cooperative.
Watch where you step, because it may be your last.
The snakes captured by the Arula are kept in these earthen jars until they get their turn for venom extraction.
So now we secure the cobra like that, okay? And then we roll this off like this. You have to be very careful because you don't want to damage the snake. And then, there we go. Just let him do it on his own. Isn't this great? And like that? Each year in India, between 10,000 to 25,000 people are envenomated by venomous snakes. This venom will be dehydrated into a crystal, be mixed with the hemoglobin or blood base of a horse, and that's how you get the antivenom or Venilum, which is the medicine you use when you're bit by a snake. So for my next piece of Jeff Corwin candy, this is a snake that is extremely, extremely aggressive. So it's a very, very, very aggressive snake. This is the Russell Viper. Listen to that. See? Wow. Oh man, you're not a nice snake. There we go. Look at that. See, we're extracting the venom. Now, you don't get a lot of venom from this type of snake. This snake doesn't produce as much venom as some of the other ones. But you saw the nature of the snake. Extremely, extremely cantankerous. Not a snake that you would ever want to mess with in the field. Because I got a little venom on my hand, I've got to give that a rinse because I can actually feel it tingle. Thank you very much. Thanks for all your help. I had a great time. If you like train rides, do you like train rides? Yeah, he likes trains. If you like train rides, you're in for a great treat because we're going to be on one for 14 hours. And we are on train B. Oh, look at this. Excuse me, do you know what train? Okay, goodbye, I'll see you later. Third class, what they'll do is they'll seat 6 to a bench. I'm in first class. The second class, you get padded benches high, and this is first class. So, the production company has splurged, and they've given me a first-class ticket. I'm expecting Osetra caviar, maybe a nice glass of Reef Clicquot, and I get a park bench.
Since I have some time to kill before the Nag Panchami festival begins, I plan to ride the elaborate Indian train system, the world's largest employer, and use it to snake my way to the festival.
We got to go out and capture cobras. It's the first time I've actually captured a wild spectacle cobra. So we get to the Arula cooperative, and so what I see is, we're trying to set up, can Jeff work with you? Can he help you? And then what you get is, and I'm like, darn it! And I'm like, why? I said, can I help you? I really want to learn from you. Can you teach me? Now, I'm thinking, where are we going wrong? And then someone tells me, oh, this means yes. So finally, we're in Lake Flynn, and we're in this big snake pit. And then, now I have to show them my stuff, but this is the first time I've actually milked a Russell's Viper. But I'm not gonna tell them that. So I put him down, and I go to grab him, everything's going good, and suddenly, this thing has a grand mal seizure in my hand, and I'm trying to look cool, but I'm this close to having to change my underpants.
Next stop, Jaipur.
Can you feel the energy in the air? It's electric. The air smells of exotic spices like elephant breath, cinnamon, cumin, and curry. The streets are filled with bustling markets, elephants, the screaming horns of buses and tractors. The landscape behind me is dotted with temples and giant creatures like this, elephants. All right, I heard ya.
Located in southern Asia, India is a geographically diverse land with a wide variety of ecosystems providing habitat for about 5,000 species of animals. Over 300 types of mammals and 400 types of reptiles inhabit this land. And these creatures must coexist with 1 billion people, all in a land just half the size of the United States. Wildlife is always on the Indian conscious.
This is really interesting. In this newspaper alone, in fact, on the front page, there are over 3 articles that refer to animals. Let's see, there's one here that talks about a gharial breeding program, the success rate. There's also a little controversial article about what's happening in the Delhi Zoo. Apparently there are some very rare tigers which are dying off. And of course, this reference to our ultimate goal, which is the festival in Bhatti Srila, the Nag Panchami Snake Festival.
Each year in the tiny village of Bhatti Srila, the India people pay tribute to the mighty cobra. My objective is to reach this celebration replete with music, dancing, bright colors, and of course, plenty of snakes. Animals in India are as common as taxi cabs in New York City, adding an unpredictable and often deadly obstacle to an already difficult existence. Over the centuries, however, man and animal have formed a beneficial relationship, learning to work together. Probably the hardest working and most relied upon animals in India is the mighty elephant.
It is time for the morning bath for these elephants. These gentlemen are called mahouts, and mahouts are keepers and watchers of elephants. It's a practice that has been going on in India for thousands of years. And the relationship between elephant and mahout is extremely tight. When both the elephant is a calf and the mahout is a young boy, that's where the relationship between elephant and mahout begins. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. It's a very important part of the day for this elephant and the mahout. This is how it begins. You go down to the water hole to the river. You lay down with your elephant, you take a bath. And elephants love to take baths. That's why these creatures are attached to ropes, because when they're done and it's time to go to work, these animals like just to hang around in the water. See, this elephant has told the mahout, I'm not done with my bath. Where does an elephant go? Anywhere it wants to. What happened, Sarif? What happened? Why did the elephant go away? Yeah, he wanted to go for a swim. I feel like I have something very powerful between my legs.
You do acquire a sense of authority riding an elephant, but for city traffic, they're not very practical. I'm going to ride something with 2 wheels and no trunk.
This is what I love about being in the middle of an Indian city. Here we are, urban environment. Yet you've got a cow in the middle of the road, and over there, some rhesus monkeys. And they hang out just as comfortable as the human occupants of this place. Oh my gosh, I feel very vulnerable on this bicycle with all these honking toot-toots and motorcycles and cars. So, I have a plan, which is this. I'm gonna upgrade to something with a little more horsepower.
I borrowed this Jeep so I can hit the road and find out what India's nightlife is all about.
This looks pretty interesting. Might be a good place to do a little exploring.
I'm hoping to find a monitor lizard, maybe even a sand crate.
Still a good place for creatures if you look. Let's see. Yes. I don't need my sticker bag for this. Where are you going? Nice find. Look at that. See, this is his defensive posture. See? Look at this. See? When he feels threatened, he's putting his head deep into the coil. Look at that. You're seeing nature in action here. Keep in mind that the most sensitive part of this animal body is his head. So, he doesn't want to damage his brain or his skull, so he's pressed his head deep into the coil, and what he's exposing is this nub of the tail. And at first glance, you might think that maybe it was damaged, but in fact, this is the way the tail naturally looks. It actually looks just like this creature's head. What a gorgeous creature, non-venomous, okay? There's no way this animal can poison you, so I can relax with it. It also is a species that's not known for biting. This is the desert sand boa, or just the red sand boa. Animal definitely on my wish list to find here in India. This is a really fun snake to watch move, because look at this. Normally when you see a snake, What usually comes to my mind anyways is an animal that moves in an S-shaped fashion. Like if I approach him, he will move like an S, okay? But he does something else that's neat. He has the ability to move in a straight line. And that's called concertina movement. See how he straightens his body out? Because although right now he's on the surface of the soil, much of his life is spent underground. Very exciting creature. Definitely an animal I've always wanted to see, but the creatures that bring us to India are cobras. Hey, you want to hear something funny? During the nighttime, they turn on the air conditioning. But during the daytime, first class cabins have no air conditioning. You get a nice sort of fan that blows hot air down on you. First class, you get these nice soft leather cushions, you know, where you seat 6 people in a cabin like this, they fold down into bunks. Second class, you just basically get a seat with a cushion. Third class, you get a bench, a wooden bench, but there used to be a fourth class, and that was on top of the train.
For safety reasons, riding on top of trains these days is only overlooked during extra crowded holiday travel. Our next destination is the small village outside Bikaner called Deshnook in the middle of the Indian desert.
Out of respect to the goddess of Karni Mata, we have to remove our socks and shoes and enter a very special place. Amongst the Hindus, this temple is a very important place. It's called the Temple of Karni Mata, and it was established in the 14th century for a very important reason.
Legend has it that a terrible sickness took the lives of many young children whose parents pleaded with the goddess Karni Mata to revive their sons and daughters.
If you look in there, you can actually see the icon of Karni Mata. And what you'll also notice is that all around, you'll see rats.
Karni Mata is said to have obliged and brought each of the children back in the body of a rat.
And the rats move about, and they're not pests here. In fact, this temple is dedicated to these rats because it is believed that when an Indian child dies, he is reincarnated or she is reincarnated, and she comes back in the form of a rat. This is how you get blessed. This little pigment upon my forehead. Most of the rats we see moving about are gray rats. But if you're so lucky and the gods are working in your favor and Karni Mata shines down upon you, she will send to you a white rat, the most holiest of rats and the highest blessing you can receive in this temple. Inside this silver bowl is sort of the Hindu version of a holy milkshake. Milk has been mixed with honey and sugar and spices. It's nutritious, it's delicious, and these rats, they come here to have their drink, and after the day is done and they've had their repast of sweet milk, it's not uncommon for a believer who wants to be blessed by these rats to take this bowl and have a sip and have the good luck from the rats pass on to the human being. I'm not going to do that. And there she is. This is a wonderful blessing to be able to see this white rat. She told me a very special secret, but I can't share it with you. If I tell you, then I'll lose my wish.
I'm going to take advantage of the good fortune bestowed upon me by that white rat and see what other creatures we can find.
We're going to take it slow, because I don't know. These are wild. We've got ourselves a nice herd of dromedaries. I call them dromedaries because when you look on top of them, you'll see one hump. That's the type of camel they are. In my brain, from reading all those books as a child, I've always pictured India as being a very lush, tropical place. But look, a lot of India is desert, getting very little water. This is extremely arid country. And these creatures, these camels, are perfectly designed to live in this challenging habitat. You can milk a camel. Okay, not that one though, that's a male. I'd like to see how close we can get. But even though these creatures are, quote unquote, domesticated, there's nothing to me more cantankerous than a camel. They can bite, they can kick, and they can spit. You must be the herder of these camels right here. And that camel's booking it. How you doing? Hey, that's the sound of a camel. That's the male. He's bubbling a soft palate. My stomach was doing that after I ate a whole bunch of curry last night. Can I ride your camel? So I step right here, step right here, and then how do I do it so I don't fall off? Look, Mommy, I'm riding the camel. This is the best birthday party I ever had. But you can't stop him? He won't stop? How do you make him stop? Oh, that felt good. There we go. I'll be back. I will speak to Boba Fett, and we'll find Obi-Wan and take care of this. That was nice. Now let's look and see what else we can find that's Indian and reptilian in nature. Look at this. Oh my, is this not absolutely beautiful? The key to this is just to let my limbs relax and let this animal move about as if I was a tree and these were the branches he moved on naturally. This is the green vine snake. This creature is arboreal. Much of its life is spent up in the treetops. Now he's taking defense position. Close your mouth. Here, close your mouth. He's taking a defense position because I broke the golden rule. I no longer acted like substrate for him. And you have to be careful because he is venomous. He has rear fangs, and that venom is strong enough to kill a lizard or maybe a very small bird or frog. But you never know how you're going to react to venom until you're bit by it, so I don't want to take that chance. Something else. You just have to check out of those eyes. See those eyes? He's got those elliptical pupils, bright black. Have you ever seen a snake that is more elegantly designed, that is so beautiful as this green vine snake? That's about the brightest green you'll ever see in nature. Knowing that this creature was here, it would be nice to see one. I never planned on encountering one. I love trains. So, what are you in for? There's a processing plant. This is where it all happens. There is a bathroom, and interestingly, you go over there, it's a hole in the floor of the train, and you just do your duty. It's totally organic. It just goes right on to the train tracks. And the wonderful aromatic fumes then invade the cart you're sleeping in. Turn that thing off.
Next stop, Chennai on India's eastern coast. This is the Croc Bank. It's one of only a few places in India that breeds and raises an endangered crocodile species called the gharial. Because they're having trouble finding natural habitat in which to release them, this facility is vital to the survival of these fascinating reptiles. I'm supposed to meet herpetologist Nick Whitaker. He's the manager here.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Jeff, about time.
Yeah, I know. I'm running a little late. I had a...
What kept you?
Oh, what kept me? Well, what kept me is what I couldn't keep inside my intestinal tract last night. This lagoon contains an animal that I've never had a chance to see in the wild before. It's one of the rarest types of crocodilians in the world, the Indian gharial. Gharial comes from the term gara, which means water vessel, ceramic vessel, hence the large thing in his face which looks like a water vessel.
These are baby gharials hatching, seeing the light of day for the very first time. They're only about 12 to 14 inches long now, but someday these babies can grow up to 20 feet in length.
Oh, there you go. I've seen these animals in museums that have been mounted, but I've never had a chance to see a gharial up close like this. He can be completely submerged, disappear from anything outside of the water, yet has a perfect scope of his landscape because of his eyes. His eyes stick up on the top of his head, you know, just like a periscope. Now, this has been great. I'm very excited that we've had a chance to see some adults, but it's going to get better. Yeah? Nice.
Yes.
Look at this. They are beautiful. Not only did I get to see the gharial, I actually get to handle one too. The reason why I keep looking over my shoulder is this is the same lagoon where we saw the adults. There are adult females in there. They're extremely protective of their offspring. So even though they have not had any contact with these offspring in 2 years, just the mere presence of us handling these animals is liable to push them into monster mother role, and then before you know it, you got a gharial hanging off your leg. So the population of these animals is higher in captivity than it is in the wild. That, I think, has been, for me, the most profound experience in India, is to see firsthand how little habitat is left. That's the great challenge. We figured out how to breed them. The next challenge is how do you salvage habitat so you can have a place to reintroduce them. Well, this was exciting. I'm a very happy camper.
In addition to the fabled gharial, this place is also home to thousands of very irritable crocodiles. You can't see them all because of the murky water, but there are hundreds of them in this pool. Of course, this is where Nick wants to take me.
So you ready? We're going to capture a female crocodile and move her to a different enclosure because in addition to displaying animals here, they also breed them as well. How many are in here?
About 750.
Marsh's crocodiles aren't known for being, like, wicked aggressive, are they? That was nice.
Let's try from this side.
But this is a lot of work. Here we go. Take number 452. Gotcha. So this is the one you want, right?
Yep.
We're not going to pull her out and have to let her go.
Let me bring her over here. Okay.
Ready?
Sit on the neck, okay?
Okay, I'm on it. Perfect. And this is great. All the strength in this creature's jaw is in the crunching, not in the opening. So as long as you secure her mouth, she should be okay. Okay.
Ready to go.
We could tell it was a female because we couldn't feel any sexual organs, the male sexual organ, which you would detect when you probed her. So this is definitely a female. I should shut up, we should move her.
Yes.
Got her.
Let's make it quick.
Make it quick. Because there are other crocs.
Jump out of you while you were crossing.
Got her. I got her.
Okay. Okay. Hand over.
Got her?
In order to prevent the croc population from increasing any further, we're going to move her to a separate pond where she's unable to breed.
Three.
All right. You mind if I go check out your snakes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
That's-
great. Look in the tree. This is an animal that at one time was very common throughout India, but today has become increasingly rare due to habitat loss and overhunting. And it is called the Indian rock python. Totally beautiful creature. The challenge is how do I get this creature out of this tree? Shh. Hear that sound? That means I'm not a happy snake. This is a moderately sized python. but I got her. Son of a gun. There we go. Beautiful snake. See what she's doing? She's checking my blood pressure. Well, actually, this is how she protects herself. If she were to be attacked by a predator, she would first bite, then wrap around. But this hug that she's doing, this squeeze, most importantly, is the way she kills her prey. I want you to look at the color of my left arm and look at the color of my other arm. It's turning purple because she's literally cutting off the blood flow from my body to my arm. And if there was a heart and lungs in there, like if it was a baby jackal or a baby whatever, it would be literally squeezed in.
But just as the animal exhales, she gets tighter and tighter.
Whew, she doesn't like you very much.
We're gonna put her at the base of this tree and let her go where she wants to go.
I can, I think I can, I think I can, I know I can, no I can, I know I can. The temperature in the cab very much emulates a convection oven. It's about 120 degrees, but don't worry, it's a dry heat. Hello, hello.
I am your father.
This is it, my final train ride to the Cobra Festival. Finally arrived at the small town of Bati Srila, which comes to life each year for the Nag Panchami festival. Agriculture is extremely important to the economy of this village, and as the crops begin to flourish, the farmers spend more time in the fields.
These are peanuts and there's corn, and you've got squash, and where there's peanuts and corns and squash, you get rats. And those rats, you know, the rats, right? The rats, they make holes. They burrow into the earth, right? So the rats make the holes in the earth. So then what goes after the rats?
Eat the rats.
Who?
The snake.
What kind of snakes?
Cobra.
Cobras. Look at this. In this field of peanuts, we've got a wonderful serpent. He's not a venomous snake. He's non-venomous. I'm not worried about him biting me. This is a rat snake. You guys, you would never kill this, right? No, very valuable animal. They have great respect for snakes here because like the cobra, this animal performs a very important function. Keep in mind that a quarter of the yield that comes from the peanuts or whatever they're growing, that will be lost to vermin like rats and mice. So that's why they like snakes, because these animals help the farmers. So because he helps the farmers, we'll let him go, right? Okay, so we'll let this guy go. Here, you got work to do, buddy. What? They got something. Come on. Where is he? Where? Where? Oh, look at this. Wow, look at that. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Very nice. Ah. Ooh, look at this. I've got a cobra. I got a cobra. One wrong move, and I'm in serious trouble.
Surrounded by deadly cobras, the farmers recognize the great dangers facing them each day. They overcome their fear of snakes and show their gratitude to the serpents by worshiping the cobra in an elaborate celebration.
And that's what this festival is about, paying tribute to this beautiful snake, the cobra.
This tiny village of Batishrala, population 17,000, will be flooded by over 100,000 visitors by the time the festival begins.
Basically, there are 65 groups that have been collecting snakes for the past 2 weeks. And now it's all come to this one final moment. And the winners will be divided into 2 following categories. Only 2 will be decided, and they will either be the team that has the fattest or heaviest snake and the team that has the longest snake. So you have 2 possible chances for winning. Myself, I'm going with the team from Czechoslovakia. 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1. Yeah, that was definitely a favor for one of the locals. He came in at 1.192, though, just underweight. So how do you feel you did out there? Pretty good? Agony of defeat.
A cobra can only strike out horizontally about the same distance it can raise itself vertically. That's how these handlers know they are far enough away to be out of range from the deadly bite. He's got about 3 feet of a safety zone to stand away from this snake.
Here we are with Guy Corder, who's just competed in the snake competition. Now, Guy Corder, you're a local favorite. Is that not true?
The cobra will only strike when his hood is extended.
Now, these men do not fear the snakes. They believe a mutual respect between human and serpent exists, and this festival, in honor of the reptile, ensures this everlasting bond. Now that the contest has ended, trophies are presented. The winners are covered in vermilion powder, and the celebration continues as everyone gears up for the festival climax.
The Festival of Nag Panchami is not only happening in the streets, but in the households as well. In fact, it's in the house where the most important part of this ritual takes place. Hi, how are you? Pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
In the Hindu religion, the cobra is known as Nag, and Nag is the symbol of Shiva, and Shiva is the god of destruction of nature. So, not only is the cobra a physically dangerous creature, it is a spiritually powerful being as well. This is why the cobra is taken into the home and treated as a most welcome guest.
I love experiences like this, where not only do you have a chance to travel to an exotic place and learn about the wildlife that you'd find there, but you also get to witness just a little window into the culture that helps to make that land very rich. And in this case, we're in India, we're learning about the snakes, but we also have a chance to experience the relationship between people and snakes. And here is the woman of the house, and she's presenting a tribute to Nag. Now we have the leader of the house, see that? Isn't that neat? He's actually sprinkled vermilion powder and a garland over this animal's head. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this festival. And the more I think about it, although I think in an ideal world it would be best to leave the cobras in the wild, but if you're going to have a relationship where human being and cobra come together, probably it's best this way, where it's worship and tribute as opposed to just killing them out of fear.
Now that each family has conducted its own tribute to the cobra, the celebration is taken into the streets. Snakes are transported in clay pots, on floats, some are even hand-carried through the village in a procession accompanied by loud festive music and cheers.
This means the parade's ready to begin. It's the official start of the Nag Panchami festival. Or if he's not careful, the official end.
Throughout the day, snakes are continually worshipped, serving to further the harmonious relationship between the farming community and these deadly reptiles. The Nag Panchami festival is extremely important to the Indian people, and although there are some positive benefits in that they're appreciating and worshiping snakes, there is some measurable stress in these animals, and a lot of animal rights groups have problems with this holiday festival.
I guess you're just supposed to have fun here. This is what Bhakti Srila is about. It's a celebration where people come together. It has to do with agriculture. It has to do with snakes. And it has to do with the Jeff Corwin experience. Time on the Jeff Corwin experience.
Well, this is it. It's my last diary entry in India. Literally just left one of the most wild bachelor parties I've ever had, man. Hey, did I do what I think? I didn't really. I'm only joking. No, I just finally finished at the Nag Panchami festival. An extraordinary experience, not for the claustrophobic. Basically, a squirming wall of humanity. India was a great adventure. I am glad I came. It was really tough. I am very glad to be going home, but I also will be very glad to come back again in the future.